Hi everyone, this is part 4 in my continuing series on the Singer Quantum Stylist 9960. In this segment, I will be featuring the decorative stitches and showing you how to edit and use your decorative stitches, which will include some tips and tricks to really make your decorative stitches stand out and look more precise. One of the features of this machine that makes it so exceptional is the fact that inside the top cover of your machine shows pictures of all your decorative stitches, as well as your utility stitches, your buttonholes stitches. As I zoom in to take a closer look at some of these decorative stitches, I'd like you to notice a couple of things. Not only is there a number above each stitch, but below each stitch shows icons of editing options that each individual stitch will allow you to modify. Now for this particular stitch, number 26, it has a ×2 below it, and that means that you can elongate this stitch to 2 times its regular length. Now the stitch number 25 to the left of it has 2 vertical triangles. Now that means that this stitch can be mirrored in the vertical direction. Now just below it, number 80, this leaf stitch pattern has those same triangles going in the horizontal direction. That means that this particular stitch can be mirrored in the horizontal direction. Going down one more row, you'll notice a circle with 4 triangles, which means that this particular stitch can be modified in all 4 directions. And then just next to it there is a ×5, which means that this stitch can be elongated to 5 times its original size. For the purposes of demonstrating how the decorative stitches work on this machine, I will be using a rayon 40 weight embroidery thread, and I will be using a poly cotton blend woven fabric with fusible bonded stabilizer on the back. The first stitch that I'm going to select to demonstrate a decorative stitch and modifying options will be a Greek key design. Now pressing this button to the right, I'm going to scroll through the menu of utility stitches and decorative stitches until I get to number 32, which is the Greek key design. And this particular machine has 2 Greek key designs, number 32 and 33. So I'm going to select the button directly below 32 to select that design, and it suggests to use foot B, which I've already installed in my machine, and it shows an option of 1 times or 2 times. So I'm going to begin with 1 time and show you exactly how that stitches out. Going to lower my presser foot. Now this is the standard stitch with no modifications as it's set in your machine. Now I'm going to stop, and I'm going to press the ×2 button so you can see the difference. Now as you can see, the top stitches are as they are set in the machine to begin with, and then as I go down, the stitches stretch out. So that is one option that is available on many of these stitches. Back at the display on the machine, I wanted to show you how this machine modifies the stitch in other ways. Now this button, which shows a picture of the zigzag and the straight stitch, is the button to edit your stitch width and your stitch length. Now if you decrease the width of your stitch and you decrease or increase the length of your stitch, you will see how your stitch can be modified. If you also notice, this machine has a box feed, which is a very smooth feeding system. I'm barely holding the fabric and it's just feeding along as it goes, very gently and easily. And now you can see, by decreasing the width and the length of the stitch, you get yet another option in this same stitch. The next editing feature I'd like to show you is how to mirror in the vertical direction. I'm going to scroll to decorative stitch number 62. I'm going to select that stitch. And this icon comes up on your display, which is the vertical triangle. And if you press the button below it, it will mirror the other way. Now if you want to have a perfect mirror image of that stitch, you'll press the button, insert the fabric back into the machine, line it up, and continue to sew. This is a nice way to make a stitch that you like double wide for more options. For demonstrating both how the stitch can be mirrored in the vertical and the horizontal direction, I've selected stitch number 22. This is the icon that shows that it can be mirrored in 4 different directions. Now this stitch also has the capability of being elongated twice with this button, and it also has the capability of being edited in both the width and the stitch length. I'm going to keep the stitch set at its default settings, which is 5 millimeters wide by 2.6 in length. Now this is what those stitches look like stitched out. See, it's mirrored where the chevron is pointing up, and then it also is mirrored on the bottom with the chevron pointing down. The next set of decorative stitches that I'd like to show you starts here at number 1 and goes all the way across down to number 34. If you would like to access that set of decorative stitches, here at the control panel you will press the lower right button. As you can see on the display, number 1 all the way up to number 34 appear. I'm going to be demonstrating how to edit this stitch by using number 4. Number 4 is a satin stitch leaf stitch. If you'd like to edit this, press the edit button and another menu will come up showing which stitch is selected, the foot you need to use. This will show you that it is already default set to 1 time stitching. You can change that 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, or 5 times. And you can also edit the stitch width and the stitch length. Now here is the leaf pattern stitched out. This is what it's default set to, 1 times. This is 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times. Now imagine all the options and all the stitches that you have and all the different ways you have to modify them. I'd like to share a tip with you that I use pretty often when I use my decorative stitches. I like my stitches to be very close together and dense. So I will thread my machine with 2 spools of embroidery thread. Add the spool pin that comes with your machine and thread both threads together as usual, all the way through the eye of the needle. Now here's the same leaf stitch, stitched once again. This is the original, and this one is stitched with 2 threads running through the machine at the same time. As you can see, it's denser and it's a little more bold. And it's just another option for you when using your decorative stitches in your sewing machine. Now I hope I piqued your interest when it comes to trying out the decorative stitches in your machine. Just keep in mind, by modifying your stitches in width and in length, by using decorative embroidery threads, whether it be metallic threads, variegated threads, or just plain rayon threads like I was using, you can achieve really great looking results. I hope you found this informative, so have a happy creative day. Bye now.